What is the worst mob in Minecraft? I'm not talking about the squid or the husk or frog lolly. I'm talking about a mob so atrocious, so offensive, that merely gazing upon it makes you want to jump into a nest of fire ants and find yourself in the circles beyond Dante's. Welcome to my TED Talk. Today we're going to be talking about the last thing you see in the waking world before your inevitable demise, the drowned.
And I don't wanna be a low star anymore. Been a year or two and I still can't get score. It's the worst that I can't get win.
Update 1.13 was supposed to revolutionize the Minecraft Ocean experience. For the longest time, oceans rivaled Godzilla King of Monsters in how vapid, empty, and tedious they were to go through. If you were unlucky enough to spawn in an island-based seed, well, this world was gonna rip you a new one. Not in difficulty, no, in just how unfun, nightmarishly boring navigating water was. There was nothing above the surface, nothing below the surface, nothing anywhere. Mojang had been aware of this for ages, and they sought to change it. They first tried adding garbage. Ocean monuments are where all the sins of humanity go. Unless you have Depth Strider, well, prepare to spend centuries traveling at a snail's pace through cramped hallways while fighting mentally challenged pufferfish. In short, the ocean was boring, and it needed to change. So 1.13 began development. They added all these cool things like coral and fish and dolphins and all sorts of new structures. It all seemed perfect. And then the drowned was added, and it all went on a downward spiral. You see, there needed to be a hostile mob to make the oceans livelier. One that would spawn every once in a while to pose a small threat to the player, but at the same time wasn't annoying. Catching fish and finding treasure wouldn't entertain people forever. You see, people play survival mode because of the constant danger the player is in. Even after getting an entire set of diamond armor, it only takes one wrong move to get your entire existence eviscerated. For players to continue staying in oceans, there needed to be a risk, or else the giddiness of having all this new stuff would quickly fade. Once the player has water-breathing potions, drowning isn't a risk anymore. So what the ocean needed was a hostile mob that would keep players on their toes even in the beautiful ocean depths, while not being overly annoying to fight.
And I don't wanna be a low star
Literally everything.
anymore. Been a year or two and I still can't get score. It's the worst that I can't get win.
Whenever you enter an ocean biome, the one thing you will inevitably find is a drowned. In fact, chances are you'll find 2. Or 3. Or 10,000. Now, I play on the console edition because I'm not a fucking normie, so this may be different across versions, but for me, drowned are everywhere. Wanna go fishing? Oh look, there's 5 drowned. Wanna build anything underwater? Hope you're willing to deal with a trident in your skull. Ever want to just spend 5 seconds in the water? Well, you can't unless you're willing to fight one of these fucking things. Hey guys, welcome to Minecraft Let's Play number 400,000. Today we're going to be admiring the, serene, calming ocean depths. Is that IBX toy cock? Similarly to the AIDS epidemic in Africa, drowned are inescapable. However, while they may be bad in oceans, they're even worse in rivers. Oh, they're a million times worse in rivers. A smaller space, shallow water, a straight-up higher spawn rate, and almost nothing competing with it for spawns. Now, this is okay in the day, because generally rivers aren't deep enough to reach the light level of 7 that drowned need for them to spawn. But during the night, do not go anywhere near rivers. A billion of the wretched things will come out of that river and cease your qualms with the tried and true method of death therapy, smiting you with the unflinching power of 1,000 suns. Just to hammer in how absurd the spawn rate is, I did an experiment I've very creatively and expertly named the Drowned Experiment. Basically, I just fucked around near an ocean for 10 minutes and saw how many drowned spawned. Pardon the terrible camera quality. Now, this wasn't a flawless experiment. I stood by the water for about a minute and a half setting up my camera, giving the drowned plenty of time to spawn. I didn't kill the drowned after I saw them, meaning that some of these may have been repeats, though I've checked through the footage, and to my knowledge, none of the ones I've shown are repeats. Even given the previous, I think this gives a general idea of just how many drowned spawn in such a short amount of time. If you seriously think this is a reasonable amount of drowned spawns given the amount of time I spent in the ocean, I'm sorry, but you need your head examined. And the thing is, I wouldn't mind how much they spawn if their spawning was isolated to nighttime. Imagine if drowned spawned like this only during the night, and there were no drowned during the day. That way, the player has the choice of whether or not they want to deal with drowned while in the water. But instead, the spawns are based on light level, which means that no matter what, if the player is near the water, they have to deal with a spawn rate higher than the amount of hackers on Hypixel.
And I don't wanna be a low star anymore. Been a year or two and I still can't get score. It's the worst that I can't get win.
I would rather watch the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime on repeat for the rest of my life than fight another Drowned. Drowned pretty much have the same fighting style as a zombie, with one key difference. It's underwater. As much as I absolutely adore the water controls 1.13 added, it still doesn't make them as fluid as land controls. When you aren't dashing, you're going negative 17 miles per hour, and when you are, you're going fast enough to create black holes. However, I actually like that there's still some level of awkwardness to water controls, as it provides an extra challenge to the dihydrogen monoxide depths. My problem with the Drowned is that their fighting style doesn't reflect these controls. Alright, we have less than a month to finish the 1.13 update. The entire staff is high on crack, Jeb's been diagnosed with schizophrenia, Dinnerbone's being investigated by the FBI for possession of gender-bent lollyporn, and my wife left me yesterday because she found out how many hours a day I spend on Hentai Haven. As I think you will all agree, these are perfect circumstances to finish the update under. After all we have left to do is program the Drowned AI. So any ideas on how it should fight? We could just copy and paste the zombie AI to the Drowns, only make it slower than a crippled toddler during a track meet, and then give it a chance to spawn with a trident, because impaling things makes me happy inside. That's absolutely brilliant! You want to know what a good underwater mob is? The dolphin. They don't take their sweet time like Drowned do, they're quicker and more agile. The player has to do a lot less moving when it comes to killing dolphins in a timely manner, which makes the fight a lot less awkward feeling, and much more smooth. This is exactly how the Drowned should have been, but instead we got a slow, clumsy pile of literal garbage. Another problem is that Drowned don't really feel like they have weight to them. When you attack a zombie on land, each hit feels like it has impact, and thus each hit is satisfying to make. The dolphins I mentioned earlier also managed to keep that feeling of weight with their knockback animation, and just the general way they move. Drowned, on the other hand, just look at this. Because they're so weightless, each hit you make on them isn't really satisfying. You don't feel the weight of your swings because the knockback is so goddamn slow. There is also that 6.5% chance that a Drowned spawns with a trident.
This is fucked. This is not right. This is not cool. This is fucking bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
The moment you see a Drowned with a trident, it's time to begin regretting your existence again. Imagine fighting a skeleton, only it's underwater, and each hit does 9 points of damage on hard mode. Yeah, 4.5 hearts. How much do skeletons do? Oh, that's right. Going back to my point earlier, if Drowned didn't spawn so much, tridents wouldn't be that bad. But because Drowned are literally everywhere, this seemingly uncommon 6.5% chance all of a sudden doesn't seem so uncommon.
And I don't wanna be a low star anymore. Been a year or two and I still can't get score. It's the worst that I can't get win.
Another problem is that because Drowned aren't limited to spawning at night, a new player could boot up a new world, go to a river, and then get 3-shot by a Drowned with a trident. Fun first day in Minecraft, wouldn't you agree? In fact, it reminds me a lot of another hostile mob that was once in Minecraft before it was banished to the underworld. The Killer Bunny. However, why was the Killer Bunny removed? Well, according to Jeb, it was because it was a quote-unquote random death event that pretty much meant instant unaliveness to unprepared players and was heavily based on chance. Sound familiar? Now, there's a huge difference between the Killer Bunny and the Drowned, mainly that the Drowned actually looks like a hostile mob to new players. and does 1.5 less damage per hit than the Killer Bunny. But you can't deny that there are quite a few similarities between the two. Trident-wielding Drowned are much more common than Killer Bunnies ever were, and while they may do less damage than them, Drowned are also ranged. So if the Killer Bunny is called a random death event, what's stopping the Drowned from being classified as one too?
And I don't wanna be a low star anymore. Been a year or two and I still can't get score. It's the worst that I can't get win.
In conclusion, Drowned must be eradicated like the bubonic plague they are. They are much too common, and instead of serving as a small skirmish the player initiates every once in a while, they crowd around the player every time they enter the water to do damn near anything. Fighting them isn't fun because their fighting style is slow and stilted and doesn't fit with the water controls, and they can be unfair to new players. But unlike my father, the Drowned refuses to go to the milk store and never come back. So we must rise up against the oppression Minecrafters face while the Drowned remains in the game, and fight for a superior Minecraft experience, or something like that. Video's over, you can go now.